And off we go for the start of another busy week. Hi, everybody. Sorry, got distracted by the big spider. Welcome once again to Simpler Living PEI. So Fred said one of the big sunflowers had fallen over and kind of hit my tomatoes, and it's a sunny day today, so I got to get out here and prune all those yellow leaves on them, and hopefully I didn't lose many tomatoes. I do see a little bit of red, well, pink, but we really got to tidy these up. It has been such a bad summer for me. And of course the weather didn't help. So as we all know, my garden looks terrible. And the rain is really not doing any good number for my tomatoes at all. Yeah, so this is where it fell, and all the tomatoes came out of the trellis. Yay! I'm not sure if these guys are gonna make it. I've got a couple of orange though. Look at all this dead stuff. I am a terrible gardener. My garden looks terrible, but they look beautiful, don't they? A few more ripe tomatoes. Well, little baby harvest. That's kind of cool. There are a lot of tomatoes out there, so let's see how they come out. So I went in and I basically cut off all the stuff that had died, lopped off the tops of pretty much all of them so they don't actually get any bigger now that it's cooler again. And yeah, I should have more than enough tomatoes for tomato sauce. Now I gotta go get the bucket because we have to pull all the beets. My holiday weekend is one day and I still have to cut the grass. Okay, I think that's a big beet. Wow. See, there's little ones in there which you can't see because it's an orange glow, but yeah, that's a big beet. Oh my God, I think the beets are gonna go well. Alrighty, off to work we get. There are a lot of beets in here. Well, we have quite a few beets and a pink hand. So what I did is, as I was yanking them, I lopped off the little thin chunk of root on the end and off the leaves. We're just going to leave that in the garden for compost. And now I got to go and wash all these off because we're not canning the beets. We're actually going to be putting them in the food saver and in the freezer. So they'll need to be washed and baked so I can get the skin off. But let's go wash these and then I'll show you how I process my beets. See this mess right here? This is why you have to get out here and thin all your carrots. See if I can wiggle this little tiny guy out first. Maybe not. All right, I have to go get the shovel. I got them. Wow. But see how they twisted around each other? That is why you thin your carrots. In case you're wondering, I'm still not going in the barn. I don't know if it comes up very well on the camera, but he does have a pretty cool looking web. But that guy back there, yeah, he's the other reason why I'm not going in the barn. Problem is, my wagon's in there. The wagon can stay in the barn. Well, Freddie has been a busy beaver. Check it out. He got all the steel down. So now we have to start working on getting the wood down, but we're gonna start on the siding on the side. Well, actually, come to think of it, that is a bit of a dilemma. We're not really sure yet. Do we want to pull the weight off or the outside of the walls off? Personally, I think the walls should come off so it'll be a little more stable for the wind, but that also means if we take the roof off or the walls off, then the roof won't be so stable pulling the wood down. But less chance of flying tin if another hurricane decides to, hit the island. Hanging out on the tractor. I got a chunk of the grass cut. Did not go close to those trees though. Are there a lot of big spiders for everybody, or is it just me? I don't mind spiders. I just don't like spiders. They're big and creepy looking. Okay, back to work. Well, Fred has been working really, really hard. We haven't gotten into a lot of the stacking yet, but we have got the wood slowly coming into the garage. Since we can't put it in the barn, we got to put it somewhere. So I'm going to start stacking it under there, up underneath the stairs, where it'll stay nice and dry. We have part of an old pallet there to help protect the old dryer, just in case. All right, manual labor at its best. Well, it is a little smaller than the old one, but that's okay because we really can't repair this poor guy anymore. Now we are just going to build like a wooden frame for this guy so we can still use it. The frame's still good, but that box, it's trashed. Like I said, it's smaller, but it shouldn't fall apart faster. I hope. Well, I washed the beets. Ooh. I put those few carrots in there too. So what I did is I cut some of the bigger ones. And then a lot of these guys I just left whole. I even put the carrots in there. Why not? So these, once they get cool, I just put the gloves on and take the skins off. So I'm going to let these cool down, and then I'm going to show you how we store beets for the winter. Okay, so these are still a little warm. Putting my gloves on, because dealing with beets, I will have purple hands. Now we did put a few carrots in there too, but those are going to be for supper. So let me get those out of the way. It's okay if they got some beet juice on them. I'm just going to be chopping them up anyway. All right, guys. So peeling the beets, it's really easy. Like I said earlier, I just get on there and just rub the skin off. Look at that. Now, here's the thing. If you're canning beets, you have to cook them. If you're freezing beets, you need to cook them. Now, the reason why is if you freeze raw beets, I have discovered that they, one, taste really funky, like not good kind of funky, and two, it seems to develop huge crystallization. Now, this is just my experience. I mean, if you're out there and if you've frozen beets raw and it's worked out for you, tell me how you did it. Now, canning beets, it is very, you do have to peel them, same as, carrots, potatoes, all that kind of stuff. But also, when you can them, they will not, they really don't cook right. But the easiest way to peel a beet, just bake them in the oven. So when you read the canning well, basically any canning when it comes to beets, you'll notice that they always say boil them. I admit I like to bake them. I don't know why. They always seem to have more of a beet flavor. Hello, Siri. You know the really weird part about cutting beets and cleaning them? That if I didn't wear gloves, I would never know if I cut myself because it would just hurt, but I wouldn't be able to find it. Wow, that is all the beets peeled. Look at that. So these are still a little warm. Now there's a whole bunch of little guys. See them in there? Oop, there he is. Little tiny guys. So once these cool down the rest of the way, because I can't put them through the food saver until they get cold. There's a couple of pieces of skin in there, but that's okay. So once they get cold, we'll dig out the food saver and we'll be putting these in bags and in the freezer. So we're going to talk about the gloves. I don't know if anybody's ever worn gloves to do this kind of stuff, but all my years in St. John Ambulance, if it hasn't taught me anything, it's taught me how to take off gloves without getting dirty. Alrighty, I'm gonna get rid of this compost and then it's time to get dinner made. Freddie has been working hard, even though he is not convinced that we have enough wood. That's actually 3 deep. Well, 3 deep from there. And it'll probably come out farther yet. I think we have enough wood. Between this and what's behind the garage right now, it doesn't look too bad. I'm not freezing them. Sorry, let me start that sentence again. I'm not canning them. I am going to freeze them. And there's not a ton. I probably wouldn't have a full canner load anyway. There. 5 bags made. I should have enough for the full 5. We might even have more than that. All right. First thing I'm going to do is get a bunch of these little ones in a bag. We'll see how many we can get in a bag without making a mess. You know, I just might freeze even these bigger ones and not worry about it. I don't know yet. I'm trying to keep my one hand clean. You know how hard it is to cut a beet with one hand? I'm telling you. Yeah. 5 bags. Yay. All right. I'm turning my counter purple. Well, let's get these things in the food saver. Without making a big mess. So we've talked about this guy before. And it has how it has the 2 settings for dry and moist. These will definitely need to be done on the moist setting. So let's open her up and get the first one done and see how well this is gonna work. Moist. Yay! Check it out, guys. Our first bag of beets. All right, I'm gonna finish these up real quick. And then I can safely say this week is done. So I pushed the wrong button on this second bag. And I literally just discovered I don't have to hold that button to get this thing to work. I just have to push it. I've been using this machine for 2 years. Learn something new every day, right? Right. Yay! Beets are done. So we didn't plant a ton of beets. I don't know why. I probably should have. We don't need any pickled beets this year. Fred still has quite a few jars left. I just like beets. 9 times out of 10, when I have beets for dinner, they'll just get opened up, put in a frying pan with a tiny bit of salt and a tiny bit of butter, and warm them up. We're pretty boring beet eaters, I've decided. It happens, no biggie. If I am roasting some veggies, they actually do come out pretty well when you roast them. You just kind of have to dry them off a little bit and spritz them with some butter or some oil. It works pretty well. But yeah, it's been a busy week. It's been a really busy week. Yeah, Freddie did a lot of manual labor. He's done a lot of manual labor. That poor man, yeah. He got all of that wood in. Now he still just has to tidy up where the wood was put. There's some bark and stuff like that. We use that for starter over the winter. So it works out really, really well for us. That and all the wood we have behind the garage should be enough for the winter. We're hoping. Better be. I'm hoping so.